looking at the sun. It seems since I was born, I've wakened every blessed morning, down on my luck and up against the wind.
I had to open my eyes to see who real and see who fake. I walked through the rain and still feel pain from rainy days. I see my pulse laid in that casket, I felt all that pain. But all these people got the nerves to tell me that I changed. My grandma lost her only son, I gotta be the man. But lately I've been steady slack, it's time for things to change. A lot of people think y'all know me, y'all don't know a thing. Y'all only know just what I say and all that I portray. Lately I've been playing games and ain't no time for play. Broke as hell down bad, I need to find a play. Call me a dog, but I had a play and they put me on game. I can't be mad cause I should play, but we all could've ate. Sat at that table, see me starving and ate in my face. They called yourself a real nigga, I just can't relate. I put this on the dead ain't gone, that we gon' make a way. Bad today, good tomorrow, give it all it takes. We all got our times, I guess I just got a little weight. Stay down when it's my time, y'all remember my name. I stay down when it's my time, y'all remember my name. I stay down when it's my time, y'all remember my name. No matter how many losses I take, I pick my head up, pave the way. People dying every day, long as I'm here, we gon' be straight. I'm on a money chasing mission, like a fat girl chasing cake. Loyalty, our values, everything, I'm talking to the frame. If you don't live by these rules, then you decide to be a snake. I put the pen right to the pad and wonder how much I relate. So if you say you don't relate to this, might never feel this pain. Like, you ain't never feel this pain. Like, feel like my back against the wall, this one. I had to open up my eyes to see the real and see the fake. I was walking through the rain and still feel pain from rainy days. I see my pulse laid in that casket, still that pain ain't go away. But all these people got the nerves to come and tell me that I changed. My grandma lost her only son, so now I gotta be the man. But lately I've been steady slack, it's time for me to make a change. A lot of people think y'all know me, I swear y'all don't know a thing. Y'all only know what I say and all the things that I portray. Like, all the things that I portray.
Battles got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feed, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through seasons she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
Florabella on my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit every like and every share. We feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura. Blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura. Blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable flora. She's got that power. Spreading her aura. Blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
All right, sorry about that, guys. YouTube is being a little glitchy for me today. Whew, just a little glitchy. So, oh, I'm all clumsy. Sorry, y'all. All right, let's get started. So tonight we're going to talk about a shift, and I mentioned to you all that this was a shift that I mentioned in my last stream about the Black Manosphere and how it started as this self-help tool that was supposed to help men, to be able to embrace emotions, communication, to be more attuned with themselves. And I think when that was the original purpose, nobody had an issue with manosphere, Black Manosphere, or anything. The problem came when it was said as though the issue was, again, men, being taught that their only purpose is based on money, that their purpose is to protect and provide, and it doesn't matter how they're feeling, their own emotions don't matter, right? So when it was posited as that type of space for men, I think most people were like, okay, that's great, right? That's a great thing. But, as we see, the manosphere, red pill, MGTOW, all of those male spaces online have kind of transitioned into, from self-help to self-hate. If we're talking about from a racial perspective, the Black Manosphere, for lack of, anything else, it's a very niche space. But the Black Manosphere is this place where, it claimed to be about discipline, structure. These bandits' favorite word is stoic, right? They love to talk about stoicism and the ability to stand tall and firm in the face of adversity, which really means knowing how to operate still in a way where you're not harming people, right? I think that's what a lot of men don't understand, right? Humans are apex predators. We're the most intelligent species, quote unquote, or I guess there's room for negotiation in terms of that, right? But I would say that we are apex predators. And so I do think sometimes, men just don't understand what they sound like. So I'll leave it there. So, anyways, the Black Manosphere claimed to be about discipline, structure, self-improvement, financial literacy, right? The Anton Daniels of, bag chasers, millionaire morning show, let's get rich quick, pay $20 a month for my Patreon and you're going to be wealthy, or pay for this coaching and you're going to be, the most sought after man, XYZ. All right. So they also talked about brotherhood, which really brotherhood was just kind of like, we cannot check each other. We cannot agree with women or support anything that women say. Right. So that's kind of what they meant by brotherhood. And the message was simple: build yourself, strengthen your family, elevate your community, right? So these kind of general terms of like, as men, we need to improve. So we're creating this space to help men improve. That's kind of how it started. And it shifted into this, I talked about minstrel show, I'm sorry. It's a menstrual, like as in menstrual cycle. I meant minstrel, M-I-N versus M-E-N. But they transformed into these sort of minstrel shows, presentations, where it's a lot of self-hatred. It's a lot of talking down on your own community, people who look just like you, and literally speaking on them in a race-based way. So it's not like you're just saying, oh, people need to stop having 5 babies. No, they literally say black women do that. They will tell you who they're talking about too. I'm like, whew, what happened to like subtle shade? Give a little bit of subtle shade. No, it's straight up, oh, black women. And I'm going to show you guys, because we're going to start with Anton Daniels. And I'm starting with Anton Daniels because it seems like in 2026, everybody suddenly wants to talk about the things that he would say. But when I would be in those spaces, and I would be in Fight Club, and I would be on these different sectors where it was these conversations, and they started to build even more niche sectors. To me, it was like, what are these crazy, low vibrational, low IQ bandits saying? Like, what is this? This is insane. And I think a lot of the people who were consuming that content, that niche content, which came out of COVID boredom, or panorama boredom, I should say, we all had this same perspective of like, what is this? What is this content? What is this? What are these conversations? This is like literally anti-black. Like everything that you're hearing is anti-black, and it's not even just anti-black community, but it's specifically anti-black women. They speak about the black family in a very degrading way. And I think a lot of it was very surprising. But now we're at a point now in 2026 where people are talking about Anton Daniels and what he says and what it means, and who he is, and his conservatism, and how he uses his platform, which I remember when I heard about Anton, I was like, who is this random loose? I've never heard about this random idiot. He's just some idiot hosting Fight Club or whatever. I never heard anything about him as a content creator. You guys know, or some of you may know, that I listen to Nyla Says, Cynthia G, It's Yanni, and then flip over, and most of the other video type of content is going to be like self-help, yoga, cooking, nature. Like majority of my, like what I see and what I consume on here is certain things. So when this conversation came up, I was like, oh wow, for the first time in my own algorithm, I'm also seeing places that I used to go just like trolling during COVID and stuff like that. So what started as conversations about accountability, because right, these men came into these spaces and said, we are here in the Black Manosphere or the Manosphere, whatever, so that men can learn to be independent, so they can stop, falling for the system and being taken advantage of by their baby mothers or by the system, whatever, right? Self-help, that was the whole thing. And it turned into content fueled by resentment. Self-help became finger pointing. So it was no longer, hey, take accountability for you and your temperament, what you're contributing, your growth, your own accountability with yourself, right? There's things that you're going to take accountability for, and there's other things that need to be happening as well, right? Personal growth turned into public humiliation. So if someone, excuse me, if someone came across like maybe they didn't have good social skills or social etiquette, instead of people having grace and giving people time to do that, these spaces would take that, that lack of understanding or that need to grow, and they would humiliate that person, right? So it's not just individual, it also becomes group. And instead of building strong men, right, which is what these spaces essentially were supposed to do, these Black Manosphere spaces were created for a lack of a space for men to speak about their feelings, to be vulnerable, to be heard, to give each other advice. But really, we found that the advice that they were giving each other turned negative. It turned into like blaming and hate-filled content. Um, and it specifically was targeted towards Black women. Immortal says, notice how all these manosphere misogynists end up in long-term relationships with average-looking chicks. All of that shouting down women comes from a place of shame and embarrassment. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, you're gonna end up with whatever you can qualify for, what's around you. So let's say you are 6 feet, 6 figures, six pack, whatever, but you have a very nasty attitude. You might only be able to get an average chick, and you might complain about that online, but the reality might be is your personality is just so not there to where you can get like a regular woman, but any woman that's on your standard, she's not going to deal with you. You lack emotional intelligence. I really do think that's what I see really with men complaining. Even average men. Average men will complain about things about average men. I'm like, you don't even match her income or education or even intellect. Like, forget, credentials, like educational credentials. You can't even match her intellect. So like, no. But that's just my opinion. All right, let's start. I wanted to get into a video, and this was a video that was kind of covered by Taz Exclusives, and I'm going to give credit because I do think you've always put in videos together very well. Like, being able to visually see what's problematic about a person has been very easy with the way you display content. I think it just makes it easier to consume. And so that is why um, I like to use it. Let me see. Okay, that should be good on that end. And they'll preach all day but never show them picking up chicks. I felt for it for a season when I was 12. Listen, a lot of the times they can only get a very regular person, and even that, it's like, they're doing all their best to hold on to that. So I did want to start with one of these videos that Taz Exclusives covered. So most of you, if you know him, you know how to find him. Otherwise, I will link the video in the chat, so you will have a direct link to go and click on his video and watch it. So I did want to give credit, but I wanted to start here because most of you know that Anton Daniels is a content creator who talks about how he's been married for 20 years, how he has all these successful businesses, and how he's kind of been able to level himself up, and he's this prestigious Black man, right? Like, he really uses his whole marriage and moral concept as a way to speak highly of himself, right? But I want to highlight for you all that what started as a Black Manosphere, like, hey, let's uplift the young men, turned into braggadocious, just kind of, just literally just lying, pretending to be these type of characters to get attention. Anton Daniels embellishes a lot of his popularity, the access that he had to women, right? And these are now the things that men in these sectors are focusing on sharing with the younger men, right? And I think that's why there is a disconnect. That's why there is a lack of understanding for some of these young men where they're like, okay, I'm an adult. My job now is to be a man with a foundation who like can protect and provide on my own, right? Like they don't have that same understanding. It's more of like, oh, we're going to protect women, or there's no um, what do you call it, chivalry anymore. It's all kind of just like men and women are this on this equal playing ground. Which I'm not saying that men and women aren't on an equal playing ground. I'm saying that people are outside of their roles. And so now there's this weird back and forth. There's this dynamic between the genders where it shows up in this gender war, Black Manosphere kind of environment where there's a festered hatred for Black women, there's a degradation of the community, and there's just the way they speak is just very negative. So we're going to start with Anton Daniels. And I'm going to start with this video because this is a man who claims he's been married for 20 years. He has one daughter. He brags about his family and his marriage all the time. But on his YouTube channel, he claims to be Republican and Christian as well. I just want to throw that in there. So Christian, Republican, father, married. This is what he is posting on his YouTube channel. So just take a minute, look at it with me, and I am going to stop in between just to give some commentary, but just pay attention to the messages that are being sent, right? Everyone calls certain young men YNs and speaks about certain young men in a derogatory way, but these are the men who are supposed to be upstanding that are advising them in our community. So I just wanted to start here because Anton loves to puff his chest out and say he's a Black Republican, he's a Trump supporter, he's not a dumb Democrat, transgender gay people supporter, because that's what they love to talk about the first. Whew. But he loves to puff his chest out. So we're going to start with him and a video that he uploaded on his channel with some women who went and, I guess, visited him in Detroit. All right, let's get into it.
In the D with the Daniels, in the D with the Daniels, in the D with the Daniels, in the D with the we hold Anton up. In the Daniels.com. You're welcome.
Would you like to do an intro also?
I would, yes. Are we live?
We are live.
Oh. I really wanted to, here. Oh. Hi guys. Okay, so I really just wanted to come on here to sing this new Anton Daniels song that I made up. Anton.
Oh,
Anton Daniels.
go.
I would like to say something too. Oh, excuse me. I would like to be here too. So.
You looking at this right here.
Oh, where am I at? I'm here.
Yeah.
Hi guys, we're sitting on top of the world. Hey y'all. Sitting on top of the world. Top of the world. Sitting on top of the world.
Hey, with Anton Daniels.
I have a show to do, ma'am.
Look at the background. We sitting on top of the world. We out here. Boop, 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 boop.
And I apologize, guys. This is very ghetto. I didn't realize that his live stream with these young ladies was so ghetto. And, you know, that's an interesting thing about Anton. He likes to brag about being married, but then he'll upload these precarious videos with him hanging out with women. You know, they're obviously under the influence, and he's saying the craziest things. So instead of wasting your time of you guys seeing him and his peanut head with those women, I am going to fast forward to some of the things that he would say on the panels. So just, again, pay attention to the fact that Anton Daniels is a big content creator that some people would say is conservative, Trump supporting, he is a Black figure or whatever. And he speaks about it. Yeah, literally. And precise. I said I have to pull up at least one Taz video in this stream because the way the content is just here, let me show you who this raggedy person is. Here you go. I'm just like, oh, okay, thank you. It's literally everything that we need to hear from him. So let's hear from Anton Daniels, the mouth of the hyena. Maybe we'll call male hyenas. So straight from the mouth of the hyena, Anton Daniels on the panel, how he feels about black people, black women. All right, let's hear it.
I don't go nowhere without my chick or a witness with me because I don't trust these hoes no farther than I can throw them. And the one thing that I know for sure, and the two things that I know for certain, is that it's no shortage of women that's trying to get clout. Y'all be acting like niggas be having to chase these little funky pussy hoes. You ain't gotta chase these hoes. They throwing it at you. If I hated you, I wouldn't tell you that you sucking too much dick. I would just join.
Let me just pause. So I just want to know, because it is Sunday. Black Christians, my black Christians, do they call women funky pussy hoes in the Christian church? I just want to know, because I really do think like Anton's language and just kind of how he speaks about women in general, like it is giving mommy issues, which is strange because he claims to be from a two-parent household, but it's giving mommy issues, right? Like to be talking about women like this. But yeah, let's continue. These women don't really say anything. Empress Kai said, "I'm still surprised these women are accepting." They just sit there and like, I'm gonna run it back because he's on a panel. It's him and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 women, one bandit. There really is no reason why people are just sitting there and letting him talk. But yeah, he gets this off on groups where I do think his influence makes them feel like, hey, you should not speak up. You know, you should not say anything. But I do, one thing I'll agree with Taz is that every time you see Jazz Noel's face on all of these videos, she does look disturbed, like truly disturbed. She's like, wait, what is this bandit saying? Yeah, and that's the messed up part because he puts his family out there. He says like, I come from a two-parent household, blah blah blah. And it's, what else are people gonna do other than go look into your family? And they know he got rich not off of being smart or business savvy. He got rich off of a life insurance policy from his father, I guess, allegedly, who got a work injury that caused him to pass away. But that's all I know, allegedly. So he's not like a savvy businessman or anything like that. I mean, he's just sort of a bandit who gets on here and says these disparaging things. But let's hear him. He's on a panel with 8 women. We see that Island Girl Q is as messy as can be. She's looking like she wants to repeat all the dust that he's saying. And the other women are just kind of reacting to what he's saying. So we're going to start with how Anton speaks about women on these panels and how the people who are on these panels also respond to him.
Suck right here. That's how I cut my hand on this part.
I don't go nowhere without my chick or a witness with me because I don't trust these hoes no farther than I can throw them. And the one thing that I know for sure, and the two things that I know for certain, is that it's no shortage of women that's trying to get clout. Y'all be acting like niggas be having to chase these little funky pussy hoes. You ain't gotta chase these hoes. They throwing it at you.
If I hated you, I wouldn't tell you that you sucking too much dick. I would just join the line. But I don't join the line. What I do is I say, hey, black woman, stop, get up off your knees. They a little too ashy, and stop letting people use you as a rag. I'm holding you accountable because I want you to do better, not because I want to see you on your knees. I want to see you on your feet. White people know y'all hate them.
And let me just say something like this, because there's a lot of reactions, right? The women who are on the panel, they're either having a facial reaction, so their way their face is responding, or their body language, or they're just kind of staring at the camera like, One thing I'll say is, a lot of the women who get on panels like this, they're not privy to the economy of YouTube. They don't understand that once they put themselves out there looking stupid with dumb, dusty bandits, that they're tainting their image. One. Two, it's either they agree or they don't. And they're like, hey, don't associate me with any of this. They never do anything like panels, and they do different type of content. And so I really do see that. But Anton is one of those people where he gets on a panel and he wants to open his audience up to like a new place where they can come and feast. Right? And I do think for him it's like, oh, there's a bunch of black women, a bunch of like different type of women, and I'm going to start talking about relationships and things like that. You know, he's going to start just talking out of his butt, and they're going to listen. And I think that's kind of what was going on here. A lot of these women didn't want to challenge him, not because they agreed with him, but it was kind of like, okay, now if I challenge him, it's going to be this whole thing. We're going to go back and forth, and it's not worth it. Yeah, and he knows. So let's continue on this video.
Then when they return the same energy back to you, when they say, well, don't nobody want to hear about your ghetto kids at home that keep on writing on the wall all day, then you're going to get offended. You can talk about their dogs and say, fuck you, but then if they call you an angry black woman and it's, and this is where the black fatigue comes from, is because y'all always victims and you're never the aggressor. Have y'all ever seen some of these Hebrew Israelites? Man, listen, man, I don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about. I'm just gonna keep it real. Have y'all ever seen some of these Hebrew Israelites? When I drive down the street, right, and I jump in a Porsche, let me stop for a minute. Y'all need to take what y'all can get. Y'all don't have nothing. Y'all a bunch of single baby mamas that don't have nothing. Y'all broke, dusty, in debt, y'all don't even know how to fucking think for yourselves, and that y'all me tooing and everything that everybody else do. Not y'all the fucking natural bodies. Now y'all all built like ants because
you know, and it's interesting that he gets on and he spreads all this vitriol because, you know, a lot of the surgeries that women get now is kind of based off of the natural features of black women, right? So, you know, getting the lip injections and the lip fillers and the cheek fillers, that's something that you do when you need to inject those things to look like that. A lot of black women don't need to do that. It's their natural face, lip, hip, butt, waist. But now every time these bandits see a black woman, oh, BBL, 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 bussy, BBL, bussy. I'm like, okay, first of all, now every black woman has to be accused of having a BBL, first of all. And then second of all, oh, black women, they should have been fine with their bodies because now they're all getting the ant booty. That's not true. There's still a lot of women who eat collard greens and cornbread and get a butt that way. Because naturally, all they gotta do is eat some carbs and greens and get a booty. But some of you guys are so tainted by people who have been interpreting and misinterpreting black women and their culture and everything about them. And now when you see black women, that's who you want to speak. That's who you want to speak to. That's how you want to regard people who they're the blueprint. You're talking about XYZ, who is literally the blueprint. Hair, fashion. Listen, cornbread fed, okay? That's where the booty comes from. Cornbread, greens. Talking about some BBLs, ant booties. A lot of you guys don't even know what real bodies look like anymore. There's so many women making physical alterations to their body that you have the audacity to look at the blueprint and point your finger. When you can, 9 times out of 10, everyone, Storm over on this stream the other day was like, we need these punk rock white people. Like, we miss regular white people. They're gone. They're gone because so many of us wanted to blend our cultures and there can't be individual black people. We all gotta blend together. And now Anton, like part of his message is literally disparaging, and it's taking culture and features that are specific to Black people and demonizing it. This is just one of them. Talking about ant booties and all this. There is cornbread fed booties still in the United States. From east to west coast. What are we talking? North to south. But we're all just kind of blending in these big pots of nothing. Nobody can be individuals. There's this messaging where if you want to be individual, if people want to declare who they are and delineate a little bit, right? This is where the Templars run and hide. Delineation becomes, oh, now y'all are FBA. Da, da, da. Come on. All right, we're gonna continue because Anton, like, he loves to get on here and scream and anti-Black, but he's borrowing from different understandings about Black people and then saying, "Oh, Black people, this man, you're a coon. You've written and shaken off everything about yourself, and other Black people are not responsible for that." So let's continue to listen to shit Anton Daniels says by Taz Exclusives.
You getting BBLs and you didn't even need it. I be wondering to myself, how are y'all so able to recruit so well? How is it possible that y'all can recruit so effectively? And so you need to change something. Change your attitude, change your perspective, change the way that you talk, change the way that you handle business, change all of the fucking debt and the fucking basket weaving degrees that y'all keep getting. And then y'all want to get married so that he got to then take on that fucking basket weaving degree. You just exhibited exactly what men deal with on a regular basis. Now,
basket weaving degrees. Okay, so let's talk about men's education, because I love when men get on here and say, "Yo, you all have useless degrees. You have nothing." Let's talk to the real Manosphere bandits. Come, step closer. Let me tell you something. You're the least enrolled. Across all races, men are the least enrolled in education, secondary education, any specializations. And I'm going to speak on what Black Prod highlighted here. Least enrolled. That's a problem. That's a problem. And then to have the few Black men on here that do get thousands and millions of views talking out of his donkey Black ass. Okay, Black Prod says, "Sister, please don't forget to speak on the cosplaying Black man named Man1, aka Angry Man." I already said you guys are letting a ginger beard Puerto Rican tell you guys something about Black people. And it's funny because he loved to talk about hair hats and wigs and weaves, and he must have been rejected by a very pretty Black woman. Whoever did it, shout out to you, honey. Because he's still mad at it. But how could you take Angry Man serious? I mean, it was revealed years ago that he was a Puerto Rican. There's nothing wrong with being a Puerto Rican. But if you're going to be a non-Black, meaning a mestizo or a white Puerto Rican, you definitely should not be caught saying derogatory shit about Black people. At all. There are Black, Puerto Rican, Dominican, whatever ethnicity of people. There's many of them. But the problem is the blanqueamiento, yeah, that got you guys' brain fried by the creamy crack, you know? It has you guys' brains fried. And I see the anti-Blackness. Anton Daniels carries that same anti-Blackness. So you can cry and be a Karen and call me racist garbage all you want. I'm not just calling out you, me Latina. I'm also talking about Black people from other groups who also do the same derogatory shit. So you can come cry and, "Oh my God, you're so horrible." I don't give a fuck what you're saying. At the end of the day, I'm calling out all of these groups who are very, very anti-Black. Brazil, same thing. Brazil has the largest black population, bigger than the US, outside of Africa, and they're not regarded as such, right? Most people still look at the US and say you have the biggest population of black people outside of the US, outside of Africa. It's not true. Maybe African Americans outside of the US and outside of pretty much in general, outside of Africa in general, I would say that they do have more money. Like there's a better ability to earn in the US than there is in some Latin American countries. I'm not going to deny that. That's facts. Right? That's facts. I'm not going to deny that. But I do think even outside of those groups, there's anti-blackness. You know, I talked about anti-blackness in Latin communities. They talk about blanqueamiento, which is literally the process of reproducing with Latin people that had white or Euro features in order to more likely recreate those Euro features than the Afro features. I mean, we're talking about a complete lack of representation of black people in Latin America, period. You think Telemundo is going to stream some black Colombians, some black Dominicans, some black Cubans? And Cubans actually really messed with Angolans as well, but they're not going to stream that on their continent. They're going to show you the white Euro Cubans, and that's going to be their representation. The black people there have it worse than we do. Yeah, because they are the largest population of black people outside of Africa. Largest. Bino black in name only. Black people don't name their son as Juan. Yeah, we don't even use the name Juan, period. We use like Jerome. Y'all know what names. Don't make me start naming black names. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, Juan is definitely a Hispanic name, Latin American name. You might find some Afro Latino men with that name. So anyways, let's continue again with Anton Daniels. Some of you guys be trying to throw me off of like the whole purpose of the stream, but we're not gonna stop. We're not.
White people are dealing with it. See, this is what men have been going through inside of their households. They've been knowing and they've been dealing with the angry black woman syndrome for centuries, for decades. Now, white people, the very ones that y'all join forces with, especially white women, they saying, okay, Shaquanda, how many times are you going to be aggressive in the workplace? And how much chicken are you going to steal out of a refrigerator? Like, man, y'all still listen to this Hotep bullshit?
So again, you guys hear what I'm saying here. Shaquanda, how many chicken are you gonna steal out of the work refrigerator? I mean, how corny? First of all, you're corny. You're a whole corny, dusty, rusty bandit. And I urge you, bandit, to stand up on that stool. So get off that stool and stand up, and let's see what you look like. And I promise you would not be happy with the results. But do any of us get on here braggadocious, ready to drag Anton Daniels' looks? No. But the way he speaks about the community, black women, black people, he has a disdain. You know, that's not just how you speak about people in general. He has a specific disdain.
Out of a refrigerator. Like, man, y'all still listen to this Hotep bullshit? Seriously? They can see the resting face. Y'all don't hide y'all emotions well. You think that everybody is supposed to tiptoe around y'all. And now they have black fatigue. Q, now you see what black fatigue is. All you gotta do is be pretty, smile, do your job, and be likable. For some reason, y'all fucked that up too. How?
I'm trying to tell.
Listen, men love promoting. How do you fuck that up? How do you make it so difficult? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because y'all gossip, y'all ugly, y'all negative, y'all always disrespectful to people. You expect for people to tiptoe around you. Once I evolved
And I decided that I no longer wanted to play or wanted to be in that type of environment. And I just wanted to, it's like I wanted to leverage intelligence, and I wanted to start to change the narrative based off of how you can think your way through it, then fight your way through everything. You know what I'm saying? Because getting into a scrap was nothing, especially growing up in Detroit, growing up in the hood, whatever. Fighting, that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? We fought on the basketball court when it got too hectic.
Yeah.
We would go to a different court, and you go over there with the 6 miles, and we was over there between 7 and 8 mile, and you get into a scrap. It wasn't all right. We scrapping. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's. Oh, Anton is calling it out. Oh, Anton is saying what's really on my mind. I'm just curious. I have never in my entire life. Yes, they do be living off they woman. They woman be the main bread makers. And these dudes be dusty, dirty, nasty. I know some of them personally. And they be out there with their Bibles preaching.
So let me just say, when he said he knew some personally, I wonder who he was talking about. Terry Love said being conditioned early is the real issue, not the people. I do think conditioning is part of it, but Anton Daniels doesn't just speak about people. He also attaches what he says to the black community. So I understand you're saying here that generalizing is bad, but he literally will say, "Oh, black women this, or black people this, or young people that, or conservative this," and he literally is making loads of generalizations with very little evidence. He lives off of women. Yeah, he lives off of what he gets for speaking negatively about black women in the community.
Teaching, being false prophets, and having their fringes on, and bothering good working folk that's going to work every single day, trying to take care of business. We need to hold her fucking accountable for all of the money that she costs in with Pirates of the Caribbean. We need to boycott Aquaman too. Y'all still let that funky hoe get away with it, but y'all want to throw a nigga under the jail. I don't fuck with you. People are tired, especially white people, Indian people, Asian people. They're tired of looking at you coming in, look like who the fuck did it and why. You show up late every day. You always running your mouth, and you never really actually add any value to the organization. And when you don't get a promotion, it's everybody else's fault except for yours. People are tired of listening to black women complain about their plight in life. You complain about your husbands, you complain about your kids, you complain about your job, you complain about the fucking color of the street.
And again, right, he's on a panel full of women, black women mostly, a lot of them unambiguous, and just saying the most derogatory and disgusting things. I mean, he sounds like a straight up bum, bandit, raggedy bitch, bum bitch. And I don't want to call him names, but what else do you say? Right? Nobody's holding him accountable, and he's allowed to speak on greater groups of black people as if he's an expert. Black Prod said, no disrespect, but straight men, especially married men, don't talk about women like him and Angry Man. Terry Love said, never care for this guy. He tries to adopt Kevin High Value Man and Charleston White with his own spin. Yeah, he takes like a very nasty spin on it, because then he talks about the community and people in general like as if they're nothing. All right, so Anton Daniels is a part of it. I'm not going to lie. He's definitely one of those few guys who speaks craziness. But I want to pivot really quickly to another person. Video gamer, why don't you go and kiss your own? Do me a favor. Try and go learn how you can kiss your own white ass. When you figure out how to do that, you can come back into the chat and visually try to show us. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. So thanks. All right, so we're going to move on here to Dr. Umar. And now, Dr. Umar, I believe he's one of the biggest fraudsters, not only because of the way he talks about women, but because he has claimed that his whole mission and purpose was to open this school for black boys. But not only did he not do that school, but I believe that in some of his talking points, he's adopted red pill and anti-black people rhetoric. He tries to put that on black women as well. Let's move on with this. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot to share the screen. But I'm going to move on from Anton Daniels because you guys know and you're probably going to see his rusty, ugly ass at some other point. But I'm going to move on to the next video, which will be a video by Umar Johnson, who I told you guys Umar has been lying, saying that he's going to open this school. Shamika said he's a zesty black smurf. He definitely is. But he's been saying that he's going to open this school for like over a decade. So I wanted to talk about Umar today and kind of go over some of his latest videos and how, like, yeah, he's going to continue to talk and address certain people, and especially people in the community, but he's not going to try to make a real difference for children or for education for black people. So let's get into that. I bet you won't debate either of those men. I would debate Umar Johnson, and I would debate the other dust mite as well, Anton Daniels. Both of them are dumb, but I would. I think it would be entertaining. I would just have to tell you guys, like, keep in mind, like, this is not a job for me. I have income, but it would be entertaining. So let's get started here. First, let's start with the fact that he named this video, "She Has 6 Kids and 6 Baby Daddies." Let's also remind ourselves that Umar Johnson has at least 2 kids, that he only claims one of them, but there is no real evidence that he has been present for the other child. All right, so he's definitely a baby daddy of at least 2 children, but there's absolutely no evidence that he's ever stood by his children or done the right thing. So we'll get into this channel. You have the bots, the support channels, criticize the channel. Yeah, there's a lot of bots, and I try to ignore them and give a chance for regular people to get in here as well. But yeah, so his video stream is called "She Has 6 Kids and 6 Baby Daddies." So either that means 1 baby for each baby daddy, or there's some kids that she does not know the paternity. Let's get into it.
My cousin has 6 children, 6 different fathers. Unfortunately, she's become addicted to everything.
This aunt was stuck in a tough situation when her niece came to her for help.
And essentially abandoned all of her kids. So they're my second cousins. I was there when she gave birth to most of them, but they're really more like my nieces and nephews. So 3 of them were going to come and stay with me, 3 of the girls. And before they came, they were staying with someone else. And I was busy trying to get them enrolled in school and setting things up. And the oldest one called and told me that she didn't want to go to school. That mentally she wasn't prepared to go back. It was, basically a BS excuse for wanting to do what she wanted to do. And I told her, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're 17. You're a senior in high school. You don't have any children. There's no reason for you not to go back to school. Well, I feel like I'm old enough to be able to make my own decisions, and I'm just calling to tell you that I'm not going. And I told her, well, you can't come and live with me if you're not going to go to school. And I told her, this is a warning. If you do not go back to school, you'll be pregnant by the end of the year, before the end of the year is out. Well, I don't think so, and I don't care, and you're not my mom, so I don't have to do what you're telling me to do. So she didn't come to my house, and the next time I heard from her was when she was abandoned. Someone left her in an apartment somewhere, and word got back to me, and she asked if she could come to my house. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I told her, sure, of course. I got an Uber for her. She came over. I opened the door. Dr. Umar, she's 6 weeks away from her due date. I had no idea that she was pregnant.
Wow.
6 weeks away from her due date. So I prepared the guest room. I could tell that she was hungry. She was shaken. I just wanted to make her comfortable for that night. The next day, we had a conversation about her future and her plans. And I told her, you need to get your GED before the baby is born, because your life isn't going to get easier once the baby comes. That's your rent. That's what you have to do. So she agreed, and I got her some study books from the library and materials, and they were collecting dust on a shelf in my house. So one day I told her, look, we're now 5 weeks away from your due date. You need to start studying to take your GED. I'll pay for it. I could tell that she was reluctant, but I set her down at my kitchen table and I told her, let's start with your strongest subject, which is English. I'm going to go get my hair done, which is going to be a few hours. You do this section and take the practice test. I'll score it when I come home. She had an attitude, but she did it. I came home. I scored the test. Out of 45 questions, she missed 37. And she was telling me, I don't need to go to these classes because I was a senior in high school. I don't need to go. I don't have to study for this test. I can pass it. Well, when I showed her the test, she started crying and she said, of course I didn't pass.
And I'm just gonna say this: whoever is listening to Umar, like, she's just speaking, she's making disclaimers. She's making excuses, she's kissing butt really the whole time. So we pretty much know that she doesn't really believe in accountability or emotional intelligence, or she wouldn't make this many excuses. All right. And obviously Umar has nothing to say, so he's just gonna sit there holding his chin until he makes something up once she's done. All right, so listen to you.
The practice test because I didn't want to do it. That didn't end well, Dr. Umar. It didn't end well. Now, I'm an old school child, like those old school ma'am, no ma'am. These new kids are different. They're entitled, they're disrespectful, they're ungrateful. And I admit that I lost patience with her, Dr. Umar. It was scary, like my level of rage for her disrespect. I had to put her out. I told her she had to go. This is just the summarized version of what happened. So my question to you is, was that appropriate? When do you start having adult-like conversations with these kids who think they know everything and anything, and you know that they're traumatized? Her mom's abandoned her. She's a crackhead. She doesn't know where her dad is. All of her otherly scattered to the four corners of the nation. No one knows what's going on with anyone, so she's hurting and she's angry, which I get. I'm a former foster care kid myself. I tried to empathize with her. I tried to tell her, look, I understand how you feel. And she told me, no, you don't know shit. See, I can't, I'm very patient, Dr. Umar, but disrespect, especially from children, is a hard stop for me. So I guess my question is, do you think that I hurt her more than I helped her by basically telling her what's what and then putting her out my house?
The fact that you gave her a place to stay before she got pregnant and she left and got pregnant, I feel like you definitely did your job in trying to help her. You have to tolerate disrespect. I do wonder, though, were you too forceful with her?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So, I have a bachelor.
And this is what some of these male-centered people online who talk about these things, they ask. The funny thing is that Umar is coming to the same conclusion, right? Were you too forceful? Because you can hear what she's saying. Yeah, why isn't she having? You can tell she doesn't. He can't communicate with that young girl. That's why she sounds impatient. That's why she's being rude and dismissive of the girl's feelings. She just really doesn't know how to have this conversation. And everything that she's asking is sort of like being a little bit judgmental and, kind of making a determination before you really know anything. So I can see why she's sort of turning people on with what she's trying to say. I also want to keep in mind that this video is about 6 minutes in, and Umar is not doing nothing but weirdly looking at the camera like a creep, weirdo, dusty bum. Right? That's his whole thing, is to talk like this weirdo, dusty bum. And he has no shame in how he talks. So before I continue down this path talking about Umar and some of the other people online who have these really nasty conversations where they're degrading the Black community, I wanted to move on, or not move on, but kind of shift to a different topic. Now, a lot of you know that Deshay, or whatever his name is going viral recently. He's a YouTuber, and he recently had a woman on his boat that he attacked. And it's recorded. His videographer even said, like, we saw all of this, like, we know what he did. We're so disgusted by it. And this is just who he is. And so I'm going to share the Instagram post. So I'm going to talk about it. So they talk about Deshay Frost. And so Deshay Frost is a editor of this YouTube guy, I guess, that talked about sorry, I'm gonna change. He's an editor of this guy who slapped one of the contestants on his dating show and was just really disrespectful. But anyways, he mentioned it. It was just kind of like, this was so disgusting to me. So I'm gonna read what he said. And so he said, is catching heat online after his former editor shared a clip where Deshay is seen allegedly hitting a woman on set of his show. In the caption, the editor claims the incident is the reason he quit and says he prays the Lord forgives him. Another clip has resurfaced online showing a heated argument between him and a show contestant. The woman seen in the alleged video has stepped into the Shade Room Teens comments, responding to commenters about the incident involving involving him. Deshay's former editor also left a few comments under his initial post. Yeah, and I mean, he did say some like out the wall stuff. Like, he really just kind of was like, "Oh, don't talk about my sister." And she was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna fight you though. Like, you're saying you'll beat me up, but like, I'm not fighting you. I want to fight a woman." And there was this back and forth. But let me just tell you something. If their own editor is like, "Okay, there's something wrong with dude. I'm uncomfortable with how he speaks to and about women or whatever," like, there's obviously something going on. Like, his language, his verbiage towards women is obviously disrespectful. I think a lot of people want to dismiss it, but that's what's going on. So now I'm going to move on to the Shade Room Teens. I don't know. Oh, damn. It looks like they took. Damn. It looks like they took that post off. Let me see if I can find it. So they took it off, but I'm gonna move on to the next story. And again, I'm just gonna say in response to this question here, Empress asks, why isn't she having this conversation with her niece? I don't think she cares. Like, I really do think she's male centered, and some of her understanding is like, oh, why are you provoking men? Like, you're the one taking it too far. Like, I do believe to some extent that she doesn't have that like newer understanding of like, hey, men should keep their hands to themselves. So I'm gonna play this video here as much as I can of this 13-year-old who's actually knifed by a 10-year-old, and him and his mom were on the run at some point. But let's look at this case here. Oh, there's no audio. Hold on. I don't know why it's coming up with no sound now. Oh, we'll refresh. Okay, I'm gonna change. Stop, and I'm going to change the screen that I'm sharing with you guys, because for some reason it's not showing you. Alright, so this stream here is going to talk about what happened with Riley.
Seconds.
Who brought out a knife, bro?
She had no idea what was going on.
From the classroom to a casket. From Atlanta.
I'm angry.
To Los Angeles.
Fight!
To Riley DeArmas in Houston, Texas. 13 years old. Look at these faces. Jada West in Villa Rica, Georgia. Kimberly Chukwupa in Los Angeles. And now 13-year-old Riley DeArmas in Houston. Riley's mom told me that it was a typical Wednesday. Riley asked to play outside with her friends, but when the street lights came on and Riley never returned home, she knew something was wrong. A social media post is how.
Yeah, and Riley and these other girls, things at first were okay, and really they escalated once there was an argument. And I think both Riley and Jada West, the people that they were with, were more involved in inappropriate behaviors than she was. Right? And I think sometimes it is sad when people are just kind of getting caught up in other people's bad behaviors.
How she found out that Riley had been stabbed in what had been an escalated case of bullying. We're blurring their faces because they are minors, but in this video, you can see 13-year-old Riley DeArmas standing behind two girls who are her friends. You can hear the girls involved in a heated back and forth exchange with another group. Some of them as young as 10 years old.
A weed pen. The 10-year-old little boy had a weed pen that was supposedly stolen from him by Riley's two little friends.
Punches were thrown. Her mother, Ashley DeArmas, sharing this video with us. You can see Riley standing back.
Riley stayed too long. Wrong place, wrong time, too long.
Who brought out a knife, bro?
The video, it stops before you can make out what happens next, but it wasn't good.
A violent fight involving dozens of young people ends with a teen girl dead.
Officials did confirm that.
And, it was shocking because I think a lot of people, and especially young people, they start to think that they're immortal. They think that they can be involved in these situations where people are going out of control and willing to go to violent measures to exercise control. They think that those are not real threats, and they really are. Right? Those are really real threats. Those people who are willing to go that far to prove anything, they're willing to say or do anything to harm you and anyone else. They don't care. So I really don't suggest people jump out here and oh, that's not real. And so that was pretty much that with those videos here. But I wanted to pull up one more. Sorry. I don't know why this is not pulling up here. But I had one more stream that I was going to look at because we're talking about performative menstrual energy. And like I mentioned earlier, I do think that Umar Johnson was a big part of that. I think sometimes his rhetoric was meant to get the attention of Black people, but he was not really advocating for such. And so I want to talk about how he talking about snow bunnies and all these weird things. But here he's going to be condemning a Black man and saying that his whole fate is because he did not listen to Dr. Umar Johnson about snow bunnies. Hold on.
And has fired head football coach Sharon Moore after an investigation into an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Now, Moore has been detained by police as well.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
What are the snow bunny rules? What are the rules of interracial mating and dating that the white man has gave the Black man? Because up until 67, you could go to jail for dating a white girl, lose your life for dating a white girl, get your reproductive sliced off your body for dating a white girl. There's 3 rules Snow Bunny Negroes must follow. Rule number 1, black men can only date the white women that white men do not want. You can have the leftovers. You can have the sleep-arounds. You can have the hoes. You can't have the women we desire. If she's married, she's desired by the white male. You can't take a white woman from a white man. That is a violation of the Snow Bunny Code of Conduct for Negroes. Rule number 1, you can only have our leftovers. Rule number 2, you can never take a white woman from her white man. That is an unforgivable rule of white power. Of white power. Rule number 3, don't you ever get caught sleeping with a desired white woman. If they catch you with one of their wives, if they catch you with an unmarried white woman who they consider desirable, they will destroy you. This is not about adultery. This is about teaching black men to know your place when it comes to fraternizing with white women. As far as the as far as the white man is concerned, you should be. We let you have our leftovers. You should be happy that we let you have our leftovers. Be happy with the white women we let y'all have. Michael Jordan was happy with the one we let him have. Charles Barkley was happy with the one we let him have. Tiger Woods was happy. You Negroes forgot that you are not white. Only white men can sleep with married white women and get away with it. I'm going to say it again. Only white men can sleep with married white women and get away with it. Let me say it one more time. Only white men can sleep with married white women and get away with it. Don't forget the Snow Bunny rules. Number 1, you can only have white leftovers. Number 2, you can never.
Listen, I cannot explain to you what a snow bunny is. That is a Umar Johnson term. According to Umar Johnson, a snow bunny is a white woman. A white woman. A white. He has to repeat it for you 100 times. Leftover, you gotta ask Umar. He's gonna repeat it for you 100 times. honestly, Empress, I do not know why he is like this. I think this is just him. He's always going to be this dusty, repeat everything 100 times. Dust might bandit. You know, and I do think Umar is one of the very most performative people on YouTube. You know, he performs his whole black, he performs his desire to improve the situation for young men and young black men, especially in education. It's all performative. That's Umar though. Yeah, Umar is like very lost, but he believes that the black people in Hollywood are our leaders because that's who he, as a 73-year-old black man, that's who he up to. Okay, so you guys know that Deshae Frost recently, he slapped a woman off and snatched her wig off, and I really didn't like a lot of the comments that were left on that channel. So When I talked about the shift in the Black community, especially coming from and led by the Black Manosphere, I talked about how there was this shift from wanting to improve the Black community to literally hating the Black community. So from self-help to self-hate, we go from telling Black people or Black men, for example, telling other Black men to focus on themselves, to get right with themselves, to focus on diet, to prepare for a wife, XYZ. Those are good things that quote unquote men could say would be good things to prepare young men for. So I wanted to move on to another video, and this video is also coming from Umar Johnson. And I wanted to play this video because it was a stark contrast to how he started the video. Right? When we initially started talking about this, Umar was talking about baby daddies and all this. And then at some point his perspective about the baby daddy, etc., changed. And he believed that women were trying to put fraudulent orders on men and keep them away from their kids. And so I wanted us to listen to Umar and his raging in this mindset. Muhammad Dabid says, do you think if the Black man sticks with Black women, their life will be a lot better? I think people should stick with who makes them happy and pleasant. And if you're a Black man and you believe that getting with a Black woman is going to make you angry and sad and that's not what you want, then you should get with whoever makes you happy and leave whoever doesn't out of it. All right, so let's hear from Dr. Umar.
What's your question, my brother?
Yeah, I had a question. I'm a new father.
Turn your volume up a little bit. You sound a little low to me.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
I'm a new father, and me and the child's mother haven't really been seeing eye to eye during, throughout her whole pregnancy. And it's to the point where we have split, we separated around 2 weeks before the child was here. And I'm trying to be an involved father, but it's kind of hard when she's not communicating with me. I don't even know how the baby looks. She said I couldn't be at the hospital. And
you were not there for the birth of your child?
Yes.
How old is your child now?
She could be maybe a week old now.
She could be maybe a week old. So she didn't even tell you, but the baby is here, though. You're sure the baby was born?
Yes. The baby due date was November 8th. To my knowledge, the baby should be here by now.
The baby should be here by now. I went through something similar, my brother. I went through the same thing with my youngest daughter, who's now 14. Her mother did not invite me to the birth, nor did she tell me when my daughter was born. And that was because I'm not going to get into, I have my reasons why, you know what I mean? Part of it was I didn't want to make her my wife, so I had to be punished, but there was a bigger reason for it as well.
And it's interesting, these bandits like Umar, they always have this theory of the reason why I suffered with my baby mama is because she wanted me to make her the wife and I didn't. And it's like, no, that woman didn't want anything to do with you. She wanted to have a baby and you wanted to stress her out throughout the 9 months of pregnancy and then pop your ugly, ratchet black self over during childbirth. No. That's why you got called 4 months after the baby was born, because you were stressing her out and inappropriate and just too much. Yeah, he's a wild bandit. He doesn't sound like somebody that would bring ease to a birth. He seems like he would bring stress and destruction and just all types of stuff.
But it sounds like you have to go to family court, and I don't wish that on any black man. I absolutely hate family court. But if this is a sample of how you're going to be treated with your child by her mother, I think you need to just go ahead and start family court on your own. If you initiate it, it looks a whole lot better than if she initiates it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm in the state of Georgia, you got to go through this thing called legitimation, where if you're not married to the mother, you don't have any legal rights to the child. So I went and filed, got an attorney to file that. But the same day I filed that with an attorney, she filed a restraining order where I couldn't even contact the hospital. I can't really do anything, get in contact with her regarding the child.
My problem is, why are these young men going to Umar? Like, I really don't think that they want to solve anything with their case. That's why they log on and talk to Umar Johnson instead of an attorney. Because the attorney will tell you that when men fight, I mean, I believe it's like 60 to 70% of the time they win when they fight. Right? When they fight. So Umar is obviously going to relate to a restraining order that was put against him in this story, but I wish he would just leave this alone, leave it to the professionals to advise him.
So that kind of slowed up the legitimation and custody process. And I'm trying to be involved as much as I can. I mean, throughout her pregnancy, I was at almost every doctor's appointment. Every doctor's appointment she would allow me to go, but I'm just at the point where it's like I'm kind of like, it's getting, I'm to the point where it's like, I don't know what else to do, you know?
You got to stay with it, bro. You can't give up on your baby. My oldest daughter, I went to every doctor's appointment and everything, and I still got excluded, but only after the first 6 years of life. The first 6 years of my oldest daughter's life, I had her more than her mother had her. But then when her mother intensified her keep away campaign, and when the courts wouldn't step up and do anything about it, you know, I was left incapacitated. I wasn't able to do anything. You know what I mean? But you got to fight, though. It's too early, though. You know what I mean? So you got to fight. As far as the restraining order, they have to prove that. You know what I mean? She has to prove grounds for why you need to be restrained away from her. I have a restraining order hearing coming up right now by a stalker that I know of, a girl who, you know, is stalking me. I no longer want a relationship.
And it's so interesting, like the school is not opening up, but he's like, now he's a relationship dating coach. He's a family law a family law coach. I mean, he's really just Dusty of the Dust. You know, so I am going to head out, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this stream. I wish I had more time this afternoon. I'm a little sleepy and I have to be up early for some important things. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to send you guys off with some music. But thank you so much for joining the stream. Make sure you hit the like button. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you believe that the Black Manosphere has something beneficial still for young men? A message that's going to help them get through the dark times that are ahead with a society that's collapsing and, you know, an impending Great Depression, and etc. Let me know what your thoughts are below in the comment section, in the chat box. I'll appreciate you guys, but I will see you on the next one, all right? I'll send you off with some music.
Battles got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feet, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable, nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through season she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
had to open my eyes to see who real and see who fake. I walked through the rain and still feel pain from rainy days. I see my pulse laid in that casket, I felt all that pain. But all these people got the nerves to tell me that I changed. My grandma lost her only son, I gotta be the man. But lately I've been steady slack, it's time for things to change. A lot of people think y'all know me, y'all don't know a thing. Y'all only know just what I say and all that I portray. Lately I've been playing games and ain't no time for play. Broke as hell down bad, I need to find a play. Call me a dog, but I had a play and they put me on game. I can't be mad cause I should play, but we all could've ate. Sat at that table, see me starving and ate in my face. They called yourself a real nigga, I just can't relate. I put this on the dead and gone that we gon' make a way. Bad today, good tomorrow, give it all it takes. We all got our times, I guess I just got a little weight. Stay down when it's my time, y'all remember my name. I'll stay down when it's my time, y'all remember my name. I'll stay down when it's my time, y'all remember my name. No matter how many losses I take, I pick my head up, pave the way. People dying every day, long as I'm here, we gon' be straight. I'm on a money chasing mission, like a fat girl chasing cake. Loyalty, our values, everything, I'm talking to the frame. If you don't live by these rules, then you the type to be a snake. I put the pen right to the pad and wonder how much I relate. So if you see you don't relate to this, might never feel this pain. Like, you might never feel this pain. Like, feel like my back against the wall with this one. I had to open up my eyes to see the real and see the fake. I was walking through the rain and still feel pain from rainy days. I see my pulse laid in that casket, still that pain ain't go away. But all these people got the nerves to come and tell me that I changed. My grandma lost her only son, so now I gotta